Browns putting the finishing touches on Titans week. They will play the Titans on Sunday at 1 o'clock. We will make our picks at the end of this video. But let's get to the really big storyline this week. Myles Garrett spoke today, and of course, Mary Kay, he is chasing that single season sack record of 22.5. He needs 4 sacks on Sunday to break it, and I think there's no bigger testament to the season Myles Garrett is having than we can sit here and say with a straight face that he could get 4 sacks on Sunday.
He really could. And of course, it helps that they're going against a team that has given up more sacks than anyone in the NFL this season. Cam Ward has been sacked 48 times, and on a couple of occasions, he's been sacked 6 times. So these guys can not only try to get Myles that record, which of course he needs the 4, but they can also beat their own record, the team record of 11 sacks in a game. So watch for all of that, and it's really going to be something. He wants to get it in a victory, and he wants to probably get it at home in front of the hometown fans. It could happen on Sunday.
Yeah, and nobody's just like coming out and saying it outright, but Ashley, just hearing guys talk this week, you just do get the sense that they really do believe this could be the week.
Yeah, and I think it's understandable considering we've in recent weeks seen a 5-sack game from Myles Garrett. We've seen a 4-sack game from Myles Garrett. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that, hey, he could get that many sacks in one game. Now, they would have to, I think, devote a ton of resources to blocking, chipping, like maybe do something unconventional. We were jokingly throwing around ideas in the media room. But like that's what it would take at this point, some kind of Herculean effort to try and stop him from at least having a multiple sack game, I think.
Now, on the injury front, one of the guys, of course, that has helped Myles Garrett a bunch has been Malik Collins. He is out for the year. Mason Graham, you think, would step in and kind of help him, and he has certainly been creating pressure. He has a rib injury, but Mary Kay, even though he's questionable, he's planning to play this week.
That's right. He said absolutely 100% he's going to be out there. He pushed through it. He suffered this injury against the 49ers. He told me off to the side that he pushed through it during that game. Not exactly sure when he did it, but he has every intention of being out there. And, of course, he's ready to help the cause, and that is to get Myles this sack record.
And that interior pressure has been so important. I think Ashley Myles has even acknowledged that having that interior pressure has been so big for him having his best sack season.
Yeah, and again, I think that's why it's going to be extra important this game to watch how that line handles not having Malik Collins out there. We're just a couple weeks removed from Myles saying he's never played with a rusher like Malik Collins who has that combination of finesse and power. He was having a career year, a lot quieter, and I think he went overshadowed a lot of the time because of what Myles Garrett has been doing. But this is a big loss for this defense. I think Mason Graham is really going to have to step up. But even just Mason Graham can't carry that load alone. You're going to need Mike Hall to play well. You're going to need Sam Kamara to play well. He came in and took a bunch of snaps last week against the 49ers. So those are some things I think to watch for.
Okay, now on the offensive line, real quick before we get to our picks, a little more of a shakeup happening this year. Of course, Tevin Jenkins, who rotated with Wyatt Teller last week, he'll be the starter at right guard because Wyatt Teller is out with a calf injury. And then at right tackle, no Jack Conklin, so that means KT Leviston is going to be starting at right tackle. Mary Kay, just another offensive line combination that rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders is going to have to deal with this time.
That's right, and it's the whole right side of the line that's basically new. So that is an area of concern, something that they're going to have to keep an eye on, something that Shedeur Sanders is going to have to be very aware of over there. And of course, the Titans do have some good rushers. They have a number of guys that have 4 sacks or more. Arden Key is one, and Jeffrey Simmons leads them with 6.5. So these guys, who knows, they might try to move Jeffrey Simmons around a little bit and try to take advantage of what's going over there on the right side of the line. But this is definitely something to watch on Sunday.
And Ashley, they just have not been able, despite their best efforts, to get any sort of stability on that O-line this season.
No, they haven't. It's been, I think, a major pressure point for their offensive struggles. I mean, their first 7 or 8 games even, there were different lineups in each of those. So there's been injuries. Obviously, we've talked about this before, but there's going to be a lot with the future of this O-line and potentially it being remade entirely next year even. So, you know, a couple of young guys in there that you'll get a look at, but we know KT Leviston, good run blocker. He's struggled in pass blocking. We'll see how Tevin Jenkins does with a full game load, but definitely some unknowns there.
Okay, let's make our picks for Sunday. Browns, Titans, 1 o'clock. Huntington Bank Field, a 1-11 football team against a 3-9 football team. Ashley, why don't you lead us off? We'll do a storyline and a pick.
Yeah, I guess my storyline is, can this Browns defense look like it should? Can it look like the best unit on the field? Because I think we've talked about this all week. Between these two teams, this defense as a whole, Myles Garrett's sack record aside, should be the best unit. If they do what they need to do, this to me is going to look a lot like the Dolphins game, a lot like the Raiders game, I think is even the better comparison from a few weeks ago. So I'm sticking with my pod pick. I'm going to pick this with the exact Browns-Raiders score. I'm going Cleveland 24-10.
Yeah, and if you're watching just the picks portion of this on YouTube and you're wondering, why aren't they talking about Myles Garrett's sack record? Go back, find our daily video from Friday. We talked a lot about Myles' sack record and on that podcast. So my storyline is going to be the pressure on Shedeur Sanders, right? Jeffrey Simmons is very good. There are some guys on that Titans defense that can create some pressure. Can they sort of disrupt him a little bit? Can they get him off his spot? That's one of the things that he's actually handled very well since he's taken over as the starter, but that is still one of the things that I have to imagine every defensive coordinator is saying, pressure Shedeur Sanders. So behind that makeshift offensive line, how will they hold up against Jeffrey Simmons and some of the guys on that Titans defense that can create pressure? I think they'll do fine. I think the Browns are going to win this game, really based mostly on their defense, but they're going to score more than enough points to win this game, 27-6. Mary Kay?
Well, it's going to be a clean sweep by the .comers again. We'll see how that goes. But I also think that the Browns are going to win this game in part because the Titans are a 1-11 football team, and they certainly don't have anything resembling the Cleveland Browns' dominant defense. They just don't have it. They've got some good guys on the defense, but they don't have a Myles Garrett, and they just don't collectively have a very, very highly ranked defense. So I do think that the Browns are going to win. But my thing to watch is Shedeur Sanders versus Cam Ward. Now, these guys are good friends. Cam Ward was the #1 overall pick in the NFL. I think Shedeur is going to have a lot to prove. He tumbled all the way to the 5th round of the draft, even though people thought that he was 1 and 2 right there with Cam Ward. So I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, even though he would probably never admit that. And I think he's going to want to show the world, hey, what about me? So I think he's going to be revved up and fired up. And I think he is going to go out there and show out pretty well against the home crowd. And I'm picking the Browns to win 23-10.
All right, there we go. We'll have full coverage of whatever happens on Sunday at Huntington Bank Field at cleveland.com/Browns.